Okay, so great. So I just stopped, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so how to get your first 50 subscribers who then go on to buy what you sell. Welcome to this masterclass. So congratulations on taking the first step towards building your email subscriber list. Now, I have built my list many, many times. And, like every entrepreneur, you get really busy. You start doing something else, and then you forget to continue to build your list. But this, what I've shared here with you today, is something I refer back to again and again. So I'm sure it's going to help you on your journey. Right, so here is what you'll learn today. Now that you're ready to start building your audience, where do you even start? Yes, you want lots and lots of traffic to your opt-in page, but unless you attract the right audience, you'll just be getting a lot of freebie hunters who may never go on to buy from you. What you want are eager readers who will want to open your emails and can't wait to read what you have to say. So here I will share where to put your links to your freebie, how to entice your audience to download it. And we'll cover social media, collaborations, and even make a schedule so you can automate some of these tasks. Right, so a little bit about me. I'm Magla. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 17. I was on a gap year traveling and had my first taste of earning some money from a business idea, and I never looked back. So I've never actually worked for anybody ever. I've only ever had businesses. And so this comes from a lot of experience from all the businesses that I've started around the world. So my mission is simple. It's for you to achieve your vision. So let's get started. Right, to give you a quick win on Instagram, social media platforms have given us a free stage to promote ourselves. And here are a few places that you can put your lead magnet to start attracting subscribers, even in the next 5 minutes. So if you have a look at your bio, you will see a place where you can edit your profile. Once you click on that, you'll be able to add a clickable link that people can just click and it'll take them straight onto your landing page. So if you like, you could pause this right now and do it, or you can always come back to it, but make sure you do. Put it on your to-do list. Next, sticking with Instagram, we have a chance to put your lead magnet out on stories as well as your grid. And you can even add it to your stories every single week. So I do this normally on a Monday because I attend a networking call and I usually get a lot of new subscribers after that call. And so I always have a link to my lead magnet there because I know they're going to check out my profile. And another place to add it is on your grid. And if you see that little pin up here, if you pin a picture of your lead magnet, that will stay at the top of your page, no matter how many posts that you add after that. So again, you can pause and do that right now. Put it onto your to-do list. Now let's move on to Facebook. Now, I'm guessing you have a personal profile because a lot of people do, and it's a great place to keep in touch with family and friends around the world. So in your personal profile, you can add a link to your lead magnet and even a little bit about your business in your About Me section. Now, I know some people feel that they don't want their family or friends to know what they're doing or that they're starting a business. That's absolutely fine. Most people won't ever look into your About You page. But those who want to find out a little bit more and are interested in maybe doing business with you, will do, and at least you've given them something to look at. Facebook groups are an amazing place to start promote your lead magnet. So if you are part of any Facebook group, especially for women entrepreneurs, they usually have different posts during the week or even certain days in a month that allows you to add a link to your lead magnet. And sometimes you don't want to just put post and ghost. So you want to talk about the information that they can get from your freebie. So you might share teasers, a little bit of few snippets, and some information that might entice them to look you up. Right. So here we get to pause and just have a little look at a checklist that I've made for you. So you could do this at any point and just make sure you come back to it and keep checking that your links work. So here on this side, you will see all the things that you can do for Instagram, and on this side, what you can get done for Facebook. Right, now, if you have a website, this is another fantastic place to put your lead magnet in a few places around your website. So firstly, on your homepage, you could have a banner right at the top or even at the bottom, and with a form that asks for their email address as well as their name. Then you could also have a separate page of resources where you could title it free resources, put a form there and a picture of the front page of your lead magnet, whether it's an ebook, a checklist, video, or anything else. Show them what they're going to be getting. And then a lot of people do this and they do find it annoying, but it does work. And that is a pop-up box where you don't, I would suggest don't have the pop-up box come up immediately. Maybe wait a few minutes, let people have a browse through your website, and then you could time it and have the pop-up box come up to say, hey, I've got something free for you. If you'd like to download it, add your name and email address here. So this is something that might take a bit more time, but please do get to it because this is what you own. You own your website, so you might as well put your lead magnet there and start attracting people. So now that we've done a few of those, it's time to level up. And so this might take a little bit more thinking and doing, but it is definitely worth the work that you're going to put in. So think about your existing network. Are there friends, colleagues, contacts that know other people who could benefit from what you're offering? Ask them whether they wouldn't mind sharing a link to your lead magnet on their socials, whether they put it in their stories and say, hey, this is something from my friend, go and check her out. Something as simple and easy as that, but this gets you in front of new people that you aren't necessarily reaching right now. Another way is email. I mean, how many emails do we send and receive each day? When you start sending out emails to your subscribers, you could add a little blurb at the bottom to say, please forward to a friend who may benefit from this. And if you have plans of being interviewed on a podcast, that'd be a great place to chat about your work. And usually the host will be happy to add a link to your freebie in the show notes. And sometimes you can even just talk about it at the end of your interview. Other places to promote. Blog posts on your website can sort of expand on something that you're talking about that you've given away for free in your lead magnet. So you're keeping people interested, and if they wanted to hear more, if they're interested in the topic that you're talking about, you could always put a link at the bottom of the post to say, hey, if you like this, I share a lot more ideas in the free ebook, and you can add your details here and I'll send it to you right away. And if you have a YouTube channel, you can even talk about it there and put a link about you or your channel. Gosh, I'll do that better again because I haven't practiced this bit. If you have a YouTube channel, you can talk about it there and put a link in the notes as well. Pinterest, TikTok, and anywhere else that you hang out online are all amazing places to add your lead magnets. Now, here's a little thing that you could add, whether it's on a post, a Facebook group, or anywhere else. Start out with, I'd love to share a tip with you today that helped me too. Have you tried this before? Get people engaging with you. And see, once you start that conversation with them, they can ask you for more information. Or if this works really well in Facebook groups, they will usually click on your profile because everybody wants to know a little bit more about that person sharing that information. So earlier when I said to share your lead magnet in your About Me section, people could sort of track you from there. Now, networking events are an amazing place, online and in person. Here's a little hint. If you see this picture at the bottom, I usually add my name, and when it says surname, I don't add my surname, but I put at with my social media handle. So even if I didn't get a chance to speak to everybody in an online networking forum, if they see my name and details, usually they'll come and look me up and follow me. You could also share at the bottom of the newsletter. I'll start that again. I might change this around because I think it doesn't sit well here. So I'll just leave that. Right. Okay. Now these call to action examples are something that you could use again and again. Tell people what they want to do. When people are busy scrolling through social media, they're going so quickly that if something doesn't stand out to them, you just have 3 seconds to get their attention. But if you put a call to action button, most of the time people might just stop and say, right, okay, let's see what I can do here. So save these and just use them, copy and paste, and see what works for you. And these can be put everywhere. Stories, reels, posts, on your website, even in your newsletters. And here we come to another checklist that you can use and just go through. When you've done it, just put a little tick, but always come back to it. I've shared a few other things here that I haven't gone into details with, but they're quite self-explanatory. They'll give you a few more ideas that you could use. So what happens next? After you've put your lead magnet everywhere, another great idea is to do a freebie swap. In a freebie swap, 2 people with similar target market agree to promote each other's freebies to their email list and on their social media. Essentially, you're sharing your list at the same time providing your subscribers with valuable content. Now, these aren't necessarily competitors, but look at them as collaborators. In-person networking, if you are part of any groups, you could always suggest that you attend and you could share a bit of information. Maybe say, I could just stand up and speak for 10 minutes about your zone of genius to help people. And then at the end of that, you could tell people, look, you could follow me here, and I've got a little freebie for you to download for everybody here, and then just share that link. This is another idea. If you wanted to start speaking in other people's Facebook groups, masterminds, or memberships, this is a little template that you can copy and paste, and it has worked extremely well for me. And if you read the last line, I think that is what enticed a lot of people, and that's what makes me stand out compared to the other people that approach them. What's next? So you're building up your list. Now what's left is for you to provide a seamless user experience. Once someone subscribes, deliver the promised lead magnet promptly. Additionally, set up a welcome email series. Nurture and engage your subscribers. Tailor your email content to their needs and gradually introduce them to your products or services. Remember, building an email list takes time and consistent effort. Don't be discouraged if you don't reach 50 subscribers immediately. Continually refine your lead magnet, optimize these strategies, and keep providing value. With persistence, you'll achieve your goal and establish a strong foundation for your business growth. Best of luck in your journey to get your first 50 subscribers. I will just stop. Oh, I can't hear you.
Mute. My apologies, I was
Yeah.
on mute. I've actually got buttons on my jacket today, so they keep. So what I would love to do is actually chunk it, right? So you've got great information and it flows, but one of the things that I've learned over time is, particularly when people are listening while doing, we need to chunk it so they can auditorily follow markers. Does that make sense? So I love the flow. I'm just going to go back to the first part of my notes, and it's kind of and I love that it's really simple. So, and that's obviously your idea. It's really, really simple, right? Before I get, so somewhere in there, you need to define what 50 subscribers are, because someone's looking at Instagram, they're looking at followers. If someone's looking at Facebook, they're looking at connections. If someone's on YouTube, they're looking at subscribers. So I just want to make sure that you do define that somewhere. But so one of the things is that you've got congratulations, you've taken this action. What I want to do is reframe that a little bit. So it's welcome to the XYZ course. Right? What I am about to share with you is the single fastest way to grow your business without doing much more than you do right now. So instead of that intro that you had,
I love that.
Right? Then a slide 2, when you go to slide 2, frame those things that you talk about in slide 2 as a challenge, a big idea, and a how-to. So what's the challenge? What's the big idea to solve that challenge? And what's the how-to? You kind of say it, but when you do it like that, it's kind of like the first challenge I know you're going to find is X. What I know is it's this simple, and this is how you do it. So you had 2 or 3 ideas on that frame, slide 2. So just do it that way.
Okay.
Right? And then when you get to who you are, because you've got so much credibility, right? But you don't land it well enough.
Okay.
So I would open with, I have actually never worked for anyone else. Right? That's your headline. Right? So I would actually go with, so who am I to be guiding you through this anyway? Well, the first little secret I want to let you in on is I've never actually worked for anybody else.
Okay.
And then go back and go back to the start of the story from there. But that gets my attention straight away and tells me like, I'm an entrepreneur and I want to get started. And then when you go back and say, I was 17 when I started my first business with this idea, and I did this, and I've lived in the UK and the USA and Singapore and Malaysia and whatever it might be, they're listening because you've given them the hook already. So it's kind of like, you think of great movies, they don't start at the beginning of the story. The great movies drop you into a moment of climax where you're like, now I need to know more. Right? So with our personal story, that's what we need to do. Right? And that's one hell of a headline.
Could you just repeat that again? Sorry, I can't.
That's just with the movies, right?
Yeah.
So the movies, we never ever start at the start of the story. The great movies drop us into a moment and they explain it.
They explain, So my headline should be
before we get started, there's a little secret I need to share with you. And that is that I have never worked for anyone else. And I would actually put context into it, Mangla, like not being a rude question. How old are you?
42.
42. So I would say I started my first business at the age of 17. That is now 35 years ago. 25 years ago. 25 years ago. Sorry, I'll do my age, not yours. Sorry. That is now 25 years ago, and then go on with it. So it's that really quick headline, credibility, and then they'll listen to the rest of the story. Right? Yeah. Then linking between your story slide and the next slide, which was the Instagram quick wins, I would say the first thing we're going to do is going to explore your 3 main platforms: Instagram, Facebook, and your website. Then when you go to the next slide, which is Instagram, instead of just having the headline Instagram quick wins, I would actually say, who loves a quick hack? And I put a slide in there that's just quick hack and a question mark. Who loves a quick hack? Because you're buying into their mindset then. All right. And then you say, well, Instagram is the best place to start for that, and then give them that information. Right. Then when you get to the Facebook profile, it's there are 3 things to do right now. So you've got those 3 things. So instead of just going through them, say the 3 things to do right now are 1, that, 2, that, 3, that, because that way they won't blur into each other.
Okay.
Then when we go to, then you've got your website. right? So I would talk about optimizing your website. And before you change gears into the checklist, before you go, now it's time to level up. What I would do with that is I would say, so just in summary, what we've spoken about already is number 1, hacking Instagram, number 2, leveraging Facebook, and number 3, optimizing your website, right? So just reminding that they're the 3 things you've run through, right? And again, it's hooks. I'm hacking Instagram, I'm leveraging Facebook, I'm optimizing my website.
Yes.
Right. Then when you go into now it's time, you've got the beautiful slide and story around time to level up, right? So I took note of what you were saying. So you go, now it's time to level up, and these are the 7 steps to get you in front of more people, right? So say level up is about getting you in front of more people straight up front, and these are the 7 steps to get you there, right?
Okay.
And then going through everything that you went through in that chunk after that, number 1 is networks. Number 2 is forward, which is the email. Number 3 is podcast guesting. Number 4 is blog posts. Number 5 is YouTube channel. Number 6 is the others, so other people's platforms. Number 7 is start a conversation, which is a share a tip post, right? Because the whole idea of that is starting a conversation, right? So train them like that and give them headlines, and so people can follow them.
Great. Yes.
Then the next bit is you're talking about, then I would like, that's 7 ways to get them in front of other people. And then I would say, now we need to talk about what to do once you're in front of other people, right? And so the first one of that is online networking. The second one of that is what's your call to action. The third one of that is the freebie swap. The fourth one of that is the in-person networking. And I think that was it for that bit. Just let me double check.
Yeah.
And the fifth one was other people's stages, right? So it's kind of like level up, get you in front of more people. Now, what do you do once you're in front of more people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
And then with there's 2 missed opportunities in it from my perspective. So you've got, when you do the checklist before you get to the freebie swap, you talk about, there's a few more ideas in there that I haven't talked about, but they're pretty self-explanatory. Never say that.
Oh, okay.
There's a few more ideas that you can explore once you've got what we're sharing right now.
Okay. Yeah.
And when you're ready to understand more about them, if you need some help, please feel free to reach out to me, because then you get a coaching opportunity.
Got it.
Right.
Got it. It sounds a bit more respectful.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also it's kind of like, one of the things that you've got to be really mindful of is the so what factor. So if you put that in, it's like, well, why are you putting that in there if you're just saying it's self-explanatory and blah, blah, blah? It's like, that's like, so you may inadvertently create a moment of disconnect.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So everything is about making sure that we increase the moments of connection, right?
Yeah.
Don't inadvertently increase moments of disconnection. So that's what I would be doing with that.
Okay.
And then as you close out with what happens next, what I would say is share via our Instagram profile, share on Instagram what you've loved and what you've taken away, the difference you've noticed, right? And when you hit that 50 subscribers, do a celebration post and make sure to tag us.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
Yeah, do something along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you can actually structure it a bit more like that, that engagement piece and people actually being able to remember what you're giving them will really improve.
Yeah. That's so true. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
What's your thoughts?
Sorry?
What's your thoughts?
Oh my gosh. I felt it was very all over the place and I couldn't see it clearly. And I felt like I was jumping a lot, and I thought I was speaking about online networking, then I did something else, and then offline. I did see it as, gosh, it needs a lot of help. It was really disconnected, and I just couldn't figure out a nice flow. And just hearing you say numbering it, like I didn't even count it.
Yeah.
I didn't count it, but oh my gosh, this is incredibly helpful.
Thank you. So yeah, just always remember to think about when someone's listening, because even if you've got like this presentation and you're speaking onto it, people are listening. So you have to be able to give them some things that it's almost like, I call them auditory markers, right? So when we're doing professional speaking, we call them hook lines. So people hook onto them and they go out and repeat them. So when you're sharing content like you're sharing, it's not about that you want hook lines. You want people to actually be able to put markers in and remember the things.
Yeah.
Right. So even if they can't remember all of them, they'll go, well, there's 7 things in that. And I remember that I needed to write blog posts. Let me go back and find that. You know, so that's why we do it. Because
Makes it more memorable.
Yeah, it's the auditory markers, right?
Yeah.
So that people can go back to them and give them a hand. And always making sure that you don't miss opportunities and you're subtle about it. So like I said, instead of saying, you know, there's these ideas, but they're self-explanatory, just say, look, there's more ideas. I've put a couple of them in here, but get what I'm sharing with you done first. Get what I'm sharing with you now done first. And if those ideas have got your attention, reach out to me and we can have a chat. Right, because it also feels to the person going through the course you're being incredibly generous, and it reminds them that they're more. Whereas when you say it's kind of self-explanatory, it's like, oh, okay, obviously I can go and do
It shuts the door.
Yeah.
Shuts it.
So just be really careful that things are invitational rather than this is it.
Okay. Could I ask you a little? I didn't get, you know, the first line, like when you said the welcome bit. Do you mind just letting me know that?
Yep, just going back to my notes. So you talked about congratulations, the course name, that sort of stuff. So I would change that to, so what are you calling this little program course mini thing?
How to get your first 50 subscribers who then go on to buy from you.
Yeah. Okay, so I would say, well, hello and welcome. You are about to learn how to get your first 50 subscribers and teach and turn them into paying clients. What I'm about to share with you is the single fastest way I know to grow your business without doing too much more than you're doing right now.
I love that last line. I love that last line.
Yeah.
Oh, love it. Love it. Oh gosh. Yeah. I think that's it. That's what everybody wants to know without doing too much.
So one of the things to remember is always make sure that you're making them the hero of anything that you present, not you. You're the guide, you're Yoda, right?
Yeah.
So you're Yoda. But also to the first sort of 30 seconds to a minute has to actually speak to what they want and what the pain is, right? So we're saying, you know, welcome to the course. So congratulations, whatever. It's like, welcome. We're bringing you into our world, right? Congratulations is lovely, but welcome is like you're stepping into our world. We're about to share with you, right? Welcome to our world, whatever I said before about you're going to learn how to turn, So you're reminding them of the promise, which is what they're looking for. Then through saying what I'm about to share with you is the single fastest way to grow your business without doing much more than what you're doing right now, because they don't just want 50 subscribers, they want to grow their business or start their business, and they don't feel like they don't feel like they have capacity to do much more. So in 60 seconds, you've hit the promise, you've hit the thing that they actually really want behind the promise, and you've hit the problem.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Would you suggest that do it in all one chunk or break it up as in a video just covering the first part and then a second video? What do you say?
I would say, because the content is relatively easy to absorb, I would say easy. I would leave it as it is.
Okay.
The only way that if you were going to separate it out, I would separate it out by those chunks. So the first one would be the welcome and then the 3 platforms. Right? And the second one would be, now we need to level it up. And then the last one would be, now that, so we need to get in front of more people, right? So instead, actually, that's another point. Instead of saying let's next level up, now let's level up, say now let's get you in front of other people, in front of other people. Because what they want is, so level up might be scary to some people, but if you say let's get you in front of more people, they're like, oh, I want that.
Yeah.
Right? And then the third chunk is, now we've got you in front of other people. What are the things you can do? So if you're going to break them up, I'd do that. If you're going to break them up into 3 things, though, I would make sure that you are always opening, or somewhere within the first third of that video, that you've got some sort of story. So in your case, it would be what we call witness stories, which is people you've worked with, the transformations you've seen by, you know, implementing that quick hack, right? So witness or case study stories or personal stories, right? But bring those in if you're going to break it up into 3, so that there's an engagement from the heart through the story.
Okay, got it.
It's also more than okay to leave it as is. It's completely up to you.
Because it's not very long as well, right? So it's,
Fine.
yeah. Okay. I wasn't sure what to do. Yeah. Okay. Great.
Yeah. I think once you actually do the auditory markers, it will be more than fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Incredible.
Gosh. Wow. I'm just blown away. Thank you so much.
Well, just make sure you implement.
I will straight away. Honestly, thank you. This has been incredible.